Greetings to one and all. My name is Terry Brown. Welcome to the CSL Ukiah. We are so grateful that you can be here with us today. I would like to mention that whatever it is that might have brought you here today with us, whatever it is you're looking for, that you are undoubtedly going to find it and welcome it into your life. And we welcome you for being here with us. And we're grateful to have you here as well. So once again, we are CSL Ukiah, and we are going to begin this service today with a treatment. So I will be doing that. So I ask you to become comfortable in your surroundings and settle into your chair. Maybe take a few deep breaths, and then we will begin. There is only one truth, one presence, one intelligence that is the source of all things. I hand my life and affairs over to this source that knows how to do everything. I do this with the complete conviction that I will receive only good into my experience. I know there is nothing in me that can doubt either this divine grace or the operation of its laws in my affairs. I believe that everything necessary for the fulfillment of every good desire is now in full cooperation with my life, that all circumstances of my life are bringing this cooperation about. If there is anything I need to do, I accept the action and know that I am receiving guidance to act intelligently. Therefore, I have a complete sense of ease and assurance. I am aware that an infinite peace is now fully present in my life, and I am filled with love and gratitude. I know this peace unites me with others in love, in kindness, in compassion. I am loving towards all, knowing that we are forever joined in spirit, and knowing this love returns unto me again exponentially. I also know that all who are here praying with me today are already receiving the gift of infinite abundance and blessings. We are all miracles, and we have already changed the world for the better simply by opening up our eyelids today. We are all indeed stunning manifestations of God's infinite grace and love, and the universe is a better place because of this. Knowing that these words I say today are true, I release them to the one mind, knowing they are already so. And with that knowing, I welcome you to say with me, and so it is. Thank you very much, everyone. We are going to be having music today by our lovely Madge Strong. She is always a blessing, speaking of blessings, and we love her very much. So Madge, if you're ready, I will say take it away.
Okay, I am ready. So the first song I want to do for you is called A Prayer for Everyone by Harmony Grisman. And in these cold days of winter, it seems especially true. There are people that don't have shelter, and there are people that are by themselves and feeling lonely. So this song is a prayer for those people and for everyone in the world. And you're welcome to sing along if you know it. I'll do the song twice, and then there'll be towards the end, we'll have kind of layers. If you out there in your homes want to join in, I'll sing each part a couple times, and then you can join in and hear harmonies. Create your own harmonies. Prayer for everyone. Say a prayer for those who are all alone. Say a prayer for those who have no home. Say a prayer for peace will surely come. Say a prayer for everyone. The wind blows cold, though the stars are bright, and I'm thankful for the home fires tonight. Say a prayer for those who are all alone. Say a prayer for those who have no home. Say a prayer for peace will surely come. Say a prayer for everyone. And here's where layers start. Say a prayer. Say a prayer. Say a prayer for everyone. Say a prayer for everyone. Stay on any one of those that you like. Say a prayer for everyone. Say a prayer for everyone. Say a prayer, say a prayer, say a prayer, say a prayer for everyone. Say a prayer, say a prayer, say a prayer, say a prayer for everyone. Say a prayer, say a prayer, say a prayer, say a prayer for everyone. Thank you.
Oh, Madge. You always pick the most beautiful, incredible songs, which is just really, really appreciated. Always completely uplifts and fits
Thank you so much.
what we're here trying to do. So thank you for your gifts. We love you for that. So today we are once again lucky to be graced with the presence of Reverend Lynn Fritz from the from over that way. I can't remember the name. Reading, that's the one. I was looking for the right ending to the word. I wasn't coming. I had the red part right. I knew it was red. And Reverend Lynn has been with us many times, has helped guide us through workshops and been our guest speaker on many occasions. We love her for her wisdom and her beautiful heart, and we are welcoming her here today. So Reverend Lynn, nice to have you with us, and please speak with us and tell us what's on your mind today.
Thank you so much. I always love being with Ukiah. Good morning, good morning. And as we begin, let's just take a moment. I love the music, I love the prayer, and let's just pause as we begin to contemplate together, enter into practice together. I invite you to close your eyes and let's take together a long, slow, deep breath in. Just relaxing as you exhale, connecting to spirit within. If you're comfortable, you certainly can have your eyes closed. Just a reminder that whenever we close our eyes, the way we are designed by that infinite wisdom we know as Creator, the Great Spirit, the oneness, we immediately access our emotional system. And Dr. Ernest Holmes shared with us that how we create change is not only in consciousness by thought, but the connection through emotion. So our contemplation this morning is creating change or creating healing, because the word change and healing are synonymous. And what I want us to notice is each and every time we enter in the presence of spirit into practice, we are changed. The question, of course, is How much of that change are we consciously aware of? What are we experiencing in our body? So I want to pause and look at the condition of our nation, condition of our own experience in the world, and our global condition. Because I think it is important for us as we do our practice to tune in to what is transpiring in our world. Discord is very prevalent. January 6th was the anniversary of the riot at the Capitol, which is a flashpoint in our history. It's described as a flashpoint. Had never occurred previously and hopefully will never occur again. We look at the pandemic, a global condition, not only impacting people we know, but also impacting our communities, the healthcare profession. Many, many people have succumbed to the COVID pandemic. We look at economics. They're talking about the increase of the cost of living, radically shifting. So we go to the grocery store and notice how the price of food has increased, the price of gas. We look at climate change issues, not only here in our individual communities, but globally. There was a tsunami because of a volcano eruption. The Pacific West Coast was on a tsunami alert. I don't know if any of you tuned into the tsunami alert. Yes. And so many of the beaches along California coast were closed. Thankfully, there was not any real significant damage. But one of the things that we notice as a culture in the United States is that trust is declining. Look at the conversations that are transpiring that we see through media. Oftentimes, I don't know if you've noticed that, you will see news anchors or their guests. They're not even able at times to have conversations. We never have had that circumstance happen until recently, the last 3 or 4 years, when people are outright arguing and not listening to each other. We see in our own communities people who no longer can socialize with each other because of the differences of their perspectives. There are people that are supportive of vaccination, and there are people that are not supportive of vaccination. There's people that are more than willing to wear a mask, and there are those who are so unwilling. It's become a political divide. So what research is telling us is that trust in our nation is declining. Our citizens have become suspect of the media, suspect of our political leaders, suspect actually of our way of life, the democracy that we have held sacred. The Global Organization for Stress actually says that 75% of the American people experience a moderate to a high level of stress, especially so in the last month. And stress, this is an astounding thought to consider for our high school students. Stress is the number one concern for high school students. High school. 80% of the people in the United States feel stress at work, high levels of stress at work. So we go back to our founder and teacher, Ernest Holmes. His contemplation on page 216 of the textbook says, we know that thought is constantly changing, forever taking on new ways of expression. It cannot possibly remain permanent. So once again, we know that thought is constantly changing, forever taking on new ways of expression. It cannot possibly remain permanent. It has to change. Can we not accordingly change it to a better state instead of a worse? Big question. So use an analogy of us as physical creatures. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience. From the moment that we come into the world, the moment that we are born, our natural state, if all is healthy, is we're in a constant state of change. We don't stay an infant. We grow. Our brain develops, our body develops. We get to the place where we begin, from the experience of our caregivers, and that we begin learning language, making sounds, learning to navigate the world, crawling, then maybe standing, and then walking. And then as things progress through our lifetime, we go off to kindergarten, or perhaps it's preschool. And then we go through the school system, graduating from high school. We're in a constant state of physical change. But as our teaching looks at, we're looking at the spiritual changes that are occurring. Change is natural to us. So I think it's important for us to notice, how do I perceive change? Is change a good thing? Is change a bad thing? What is my response when I think of change? Am I resistant? Or do I embrace it? Do I recognize that change is actually a way for me to expand self, to enlarge my experience of this lifetime and my connection with self and other beings? So I want you to just for a moment, think to yourself, ask yourself, how do I
Not sure if it's happening with other people, but Reverend Lynn, you're freezing a little bit. So do we still have you right now? I believe our blue teeth have now caused us some problems. So Reverend Lynn, if you're there and can either switch over or something, that would be great. We'd love to hear your talk, the rest of it. So how about we do a couple things in the meanwhile, and then if you come back in and are working, there she goes. She'll be coming back in shortly. I'm
going to try to call her on the phone.
Okay, great. Should we talk about?
Maybe Madge could play some music or something.
You have a song, Madge?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, please. Thank you.
I was really glad that Reverend Lynn mentioned that we just passed the 1-year anniversary of the January 6th insurrection, and tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day. So my other song that I have prepared here, and I have one more if you need one, but this one is in honor of Martin Luther King, and it's called We Have a Dream by Lisa Ashman and Georgia Yates.
Sorry, I'm going to stop recording for this minute, okay? I'm going to pause the recording until we get back online.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Madge, although I don't think the public saw that one, but that was beautiful once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
We had a momentary computer glitch, and so now we have Reverend Lynn back with us again. Are you there, Reverend Lynn?
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, I
Great.
can hear you well.
And,
I'm sorry about that. I've never had that happen before, so it was a little different.
Well, there we go. If you could pick up sort of in general where you might have been, or wherever you feel like you would like to, we'd love to be hearing more from you.
So we were talking about change and how we as an individual, our relationship to that, because it makes a difference in how we relate to ourselves, the world, and how we work with change. So if I find myself hesitant to embrace change, it's very, very important that I do my you might, what us therapists call our work, to be able to befriend it and see it as an asset to our ongoing growth. Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's a day of national recognition when our nation has proclaimed it as a day of service. So it's a time for us to look at the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who saw oppression, injustice, experienced it throughout his lifetime, a Baptist minister who stepped forward because there was a need. Never, ever did he feel a calling on his life to serve as a civil rights leader, but he has become one of the foremost recognized and known civil rights leaders. And what's interesting to note about him, he never thought only of the African-American dilemma. He thought of all people and worked so that all people would have equal access to all the resources that are held and available in this nation. So he organized, as a way of instituting social change, he organized sit-ins, marches, demonstrations. I want us to reflect back on the 1963 March on Washington. 250,000 people showed up at the reflecting pool in the Lincoln Memorial. That gathering was peaceful. All of his marches, demonstrations, and sit-ins, the purpose of which were to be held in nonviolent protest. And so today, I think his work is even more important in our own journey in this lifetime, but certainly our journey as a nation, a society, and a global community. On Monday, one of the things that happens is a bell ringing to honor his life. 9 a.m. California time. People are encouraged to ring a bell. Whether you gather as a group or go out on the curb of your home, ring a bell. If you do not have a bell, clap your hands, make a sound to honor his legacy, honor his work, honor, to me, his invitation to create social change nonviolently. And it's also a time for us to go, where am I in my contribution in my own life to create the change that I know I need and to create a change in my community? I want to share a quote with you because I think this is especially of importance to us, recognizing that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. This is what Dr. King said. The nonviolent resistor is just as strongly opposed to the evil against which he protests as the person who uses violence. His method is passive or non-aggressive in the sense that he is not physically aggressive towards his opponent, but his mind, notice he says his mind and emotions are always active, constantly seeking to persuade the opponent that he is mistaken. This method is passive physically, but strongly active spiritually. It is non-aggressive physically, but dynamically aggressive spiritually. And I would encourage us to hold that as kind of the mission and purpose of what we as spiritual beings, how we would relate to ourselves and the world. We have to be highly active spiritually, not in the physical way. In Germany, the university there, they did a study. And what they found out and discovered is that the average person has 20 photons of light coming from our heart space. So where we're sitting right now, 20 photons of light emanating from our heart space. But what they noticed is that when someone meditates and they set their intention that love would come through that heart space out into the world, when they set that intention, they recorded 100,000 photons of light coming from the heart space. So wouldn't it be wonderful if all of us here today made the commitment that on Monday, maybe close to that bell ringing time, maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock, sometime during the day, that we would take 5 minutes of meditation and from our heart space, intend love to emanate from us and send that out to not only our families, ourselves, but Ukiah, to our state, to our nation, to our global community. Research tells us this is a phenomena that happens. We can be part of that change, that nonviolent change, that healing may occur. I must connect always mind, body, spirit. I am a physical being, but I am a spiritual being that is working through the sacred temple of the body. I'm going to invite us, I've been talking here, but I'm going to invite us to close our eyes for a moment if you are comfortable, and to listen to this thought by Rumi. And it's a question after this that I want us all to consider. Where am I in instituting the change I need in my life? And how can I practice being an agent of change in my family and my community? Probably our most challenging environment is in our own family, as we're tied emotionally to it. And so sometimes our practice must be very committed to practicing peace, nonviolence, love in our own extended family. So if you are comfortable to close your eyes, I want to see what comes up for you when you hear these words by Rumi. When I run after what I think I want, my days are a furnace of stress and anxiety. If I sit in my own place of patience, what I need flows to me and without pain. From this, I understand that what I want also wants me, is looking for me and attracting me. There is a great secret here for anyone who can grasp it. Notice what comes up for you. What does it mean for us as individuals in our own journey, but especially so, what does it mean for us as a nation with all the discord that we see? What I want also wants me, is looking for me and attracting me. It's a deep question for us to contemplate. And how can I follow the model of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., not only as I honor him, but in my daily walk? How can I practice emanating photons of light from my heart space in meditation so that my physiology of my body is changed by that, but I also create change in the world? So after service, if anyone would like to spend a few minutes talking about this, we will. Change, healing. How do I relate to it? How am I as an agent of change is our question. So I'm going to invite us into affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. And as we do so, I'm going to invite us, each of us, to think to ourselves and with each other, I am emanating love from my heart space, healing from my heart space. I invite you to close your eyes, and together we take in a long, slow, deep breath. Relaxing as we exhale. For what I know for myself, I know for each one gathered here, and who are impacted by the sound of my voice and the consciousness of this teaching, that God is one, Spirit is one, Creator, that infinite intelligence, that infinite wisdom, the one who has desired relationship with me, with us, and we are present in this lifetime. Sense of connection of mind, body, and spirit, and sacred relationship as sacred human. I open my body, my being, my consciousness. I open my life. I recognize and know that I am sacred human. And in this lifetime, it is my consciousness and the expression of my physical work that creates my journey, that allows me to be an instrument of peace, an instrument of discord. And I choose peace. I choose healing. I allow the eminence of love to come from my heart space into the world, into my own life, into my own body, into my family, into my community, my nation, and around the globe. I allow that energy of love and light to move across this planet, far beyond into the cosmos, that the discord that we experience as a nation, as a community, by means of spirit, by means of this experience of photons of light, I develop profound respect for self and others. It begins with me. We are the agents of change. And so I practice love. I practice acceptance of differences. We practice love, acceptance of differences. Where I am, my presence, I create a sacred space where people may enter and feel acceptance, understanding, a place of sharing their views without judgment, a place of connecting with reverence by means of spirit. So I give thanks for this teaching that has brought me to this particular place and time, this moment in my journey, where we as a community of light consciousness can rise up and produce healing, not only for self, but for our nation, our global family. And I give thanks for each one that is here, each one that tunes into this message, each one that makes it our practice to allow the photons of love and light to emanate to the world, to bring healing and change to us and to all. And I release this blessing and prayer into the world, into life, into all that is. And so it is. Amen.
Ooh. Thank you, Reverend Lynn. That was absolutely beautiful. We are so grateful for your wisdom here, that you share it with us, and hearing words like reverence and sacred and photons are very, they're very visual. They really bring some beautiful imagery into my mind. So, and also thank you for reminding us on Monday of the Reverend Martin Luther King noise that we're going to be making around 9 a.m., a joyous noise in celebration and in gratitude. So thank you very much, Reverend Lynn. Always a beautiful blessing to have you here with us. So We are going to do our donation, what do we call it? Our offering. There we go. So, and here we are on the screen. If you'd like to say it with me, that would be lovely. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies this gift. With all my heart and with all my mind, I know that I am saying yes to something I value. With all others present here, we dedicate these gifts to the values and visions we share. And we're going to do a couple of announcements. We are really hoping that people can find ways to contribute financially and other ways to our center. Every offering helps us do what we need to do for ourselves and for the community and even the community at large and outward. So there's a donate button at the csl.org, cslukiah.org homepage. Many ways to donate. So please, if you're able, give what you can so we can keep doing what we're doing. So we have a few announcements. On January 23rd, which is next Sunday, at 11:45, following our service, we will be having our annual meeting of all members of the CSL Ukiah and our extended family. And this is a very important one to participate in, only via Zoom though. We're not going to be doing it live, only via Zoom, which I assume also means the service itself will only be via Zoom. We are going to be voting on accepting Reverend Angelica Taggart as our new full-time minister. She is with Eureka CSL, and she is awesome. We've connected with her via Zoom several times now. Incredible woman. And they've got some great stuff going on up there. We're hopefully becoming sister communities with them, and that will be better for all of us. So we need to vote on January 23rd, next Sunday. So the more votes we can get, the better. Please show up and represent our beloved community, because you love us, we love you, and we need you to participate with us. So that is that. And again, only via Zoom next Sunday, not in person. Let's see. Also next week we have Gina Krupka, who we also love. She's always an amazing speaker when she participates with us. Just the words that come out of her are always so inspiring and very moving. She's a really, really amazing woman. So please join us for that next Sunday as well at 10:30. We will also have Elizabeth McDougall playing piano for us next week, and we love her every time she does that. So, so we are also still trying to give donations of various types to Building Bridges, our homeless shelter here in Ukiah. The newsletter that we send out has information in it, so I will leave it there for you to find that information. But anything you can give that they need is very lovingly received by them. Let's see. Also, Reverend Angelica, if we do accept her as our new minister, will be doing her first service with us on February 13th. So we very much look forward to that. Okay, so now Madge, if you're there, do you have one more song that you'd like to share with us? We'd love to hear it.
Yes, I do. And while we're honoring Martin Luther King Jr., we're also honoring John Lewis, who was with Martin Luther King on many, many of those occasions, and was steadfast in his work in Congress. And we really have to keep his memory alive and his activism alive. So my friend Harmony Grissman, again, took a few of his words and put them to music. So it's called John Lewis Says. I'll do it. It's very short. So sing along if you want to. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. be afraid to make some noise. Good trouble. Stay hopeful until your dying day, and we can find a way out of no way. Yes, we can find a way out of no way. And you can definitely sing that along. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Never be afraid to make some noise and send those photons out. Stay hopeful until your dying day, and we can find a way out of no way. Yes, we can find a way out of no way. One more time and sing along at the end. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Never be afraid to make some noise and send that love out. Stay hopeful until your dying day, and we can find a way out of no way. Yes, we can find a way out of no way. We can find a way. We can find a way. We can find a way out of no way. One more time. We can find a way. Yeah, we can find a way. We can find a way out of no way. Thank you.
That was, again, amazing, Madge. Perfect as well. Yes, not only Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King, but also John Lewis, who is just one of the most beautiful heroes that we have here in our country. So yes, that was really, really, really beautiful, Madge. Perfect. Perfect for tomorrow, today. Perfect for the rest of our lives and all through eternity. Okay, great. Thank you. So I wanted to say thank you to everyone for participating with us today. We're glad you could join us. And please join us again next Sunday, 10:30 via Zoom. And then we will have the meeting afterwards. Please share the information with friends to participate next Sunday at 11:45. Okay, well, thank you very much for being here. And I will close this today by saying namaste.